When people call DJ Kool Herc hip-hop's biggest addict, they're talking about his darkest years in the 1980s when crack cocaine nearly destroyed everything. But at 70 years old, this Jamaican-born pioneer stands as something far more powerful than his lowest moments. He's the founding father of a global music movement that changed the world forever. Most people don't realize the man who created hip-hop almost vanished completely from the culture he built. This is the incredible story of how DJ Kool Herc went from throwing legendary parties in the Bronx to becoming a forgotten addict, then somehow climbed back to claim his rightful place in music history. It all started on August 11, 1973, at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx. Herc's sister, Cindy Campbell, wanted to throw a back-to-school party to raise money for new clothes. She charged 50 cents for guys and 25 cents for ladies. Nobody knew they were about to witness the birth of hip-hop culture. Herc had been watching dancers at parties for months. He noticed something interesting. When songs hit their instrumental breaks, the crowd went absolutely wild. These percussive sections made people dance harder than anything else. But these breaks only lasted seconds before the singing started again. That's when Herc invented what he called the merry-go-round technique. He used two turntables with identical records. As the break on one record ended, he'd seamlessly switch to the break on the second record. This created continuous loops of pure dancing energy. He could extend a few seconds into several minutes of non-stop breakbeats. The dancers going crazy during these extended breaks became known as b-boys and b-girls. Herc had accidentally created the foundation for breakdancing, DJing, and eventually rap music. His playlist was eclectic too. He'd play James Brown, but also rock songs like Apache by the Incredible Bongo Band and The Mexican by Babe Ruth. Herc's parties became legendary throughout the Bronx. His sound system, called the Herculoids, was massive and crystal clear. People came from all over just to experience his parties. He wasn't interested in recording music or making commercial deals. For Herc, hip-hop was about community and live experiences. This philosophy would become his biggest strength and his greatest weakness. While contemporaries like Grandmaster Flash and Afrika Bambaataa started making records in the late 1970s, Herc stuck to live parties. He was actually making more money throwing parties than some rappers made from their early record deals. Herc was protective of his music too. He'd remove labels from his records so other DJs couldn't steal his playlist, but he never thought about protecting his innovations through commercial recordings. Hip-hop was supposed to be live art, not something you packaged and sold. Everything changed in 1977. Herc was DJing at a club called the Executive Playhouse when a fight broke out. He tried to break it up and got stabbed multiple times by drunk troublemakers who wanted free entry. The thick suede hunting jacket he wore probably saved his life, but the physical wounds healed faster than the psychological ones. The stabbing left Herc mentally scarred and paranoid. He retreated into what he called a little shell, avoiding public performances and staying away from the hip-hop scene he'd created. The timing couldn't have been worse. In 1979, the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight became the first commercially successful hip-hop record. The culture was shifting from live DJs to recorded music. Studio bands replaced DJs entirely on many tracks. The focus moved from DJs like Herc to rappers and MCs. While his contemporaries signed with major labels and built commercial careers, Herc watched from the sidelines. His community-first philosophy meant he couldn't adapt to the profit-driven model taking over hip-hop. The very industry he'd founded was leaving him behind. Then personal tragedy struck. In 1984, Herc's father, Keith Campbell, died. His father had been a huge musical influence, an avid record collector who shaped Herc's understanding of music. The loss devastated him completely. Herc fell into severe depression. With his music career declining and his father gone, he felt lost and abandoned. That's when he started using crack cocaine. In his own words, "My father had died, my music was declining, and things were changing. I couldn't cope, so I started medicating. I thought I could handle it, but it was bigger than I was." The addiction consumed him through the mid-1980s. This brilliant innovator who'd created a global culture was now just another casualty of the crack epidemic devastating urban communities. In 1987, he was arrested for selling drugs to an undercover agent. For years, DJ Kool Herc virtually disappeared from hip-hop. While the culture he'd founded grew into a billion-dollar industry, its creators struggled with addiction and poverty. The man who'd given the world hip-hop couldn't even afford basic necessities, but the hip-hop community never forgot him. In 2011, news broke that Herc was gravely ill with kidney stones and had no health insurance. He'd missed medical appointments because he couldn't afford the required deposits. His sister, Cindy Campbell, launched a fundraising campaign to help with his medical bills. The response was incredible. Hip-hop artists, fans, fans and industry figures rallied to support the man whose innovations had made their careers possible. They raised enough money to cover his surgery and recovery. This moment revealed something beautiful about the culture Herc had created. Even though he'd never gotten rich from hip-hop, the community he'd built was willing to take care of him. His original philosophy of putting community over profit had created lasting bonds that supported him in his darkest hour. The health crisis became a turning point. Instead of retreating again, Herc embraced his role as hip-hop's elder statesman. He started advocating for the preservation of hip-hop history and landmarks. In 2007, he successfully campaigned to have 1520 Sedgwick Avenue officially recognized as the birthplace of hip-hop. He fought to keep it affordable housing so working-class families could still live there. The building is now a protected historical landmark. Recognition and honors started pouring in. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame featured him in 1995. He received the VH1 Hip Hop Pioneer Award in 2004. Time magazine profiled him in 2002 alongside music legends like Elvis Presley and Louis Armstrong. The ultimate recognition came in 2023. DJ Kool Herc was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Musical Influence Award. During his tearful acceptance speech, his sister Cindy Campbell joined him on stage. It was a powerful moment acknowledging the family roots of hip-hop culture. This journey from marginalized addict to celebrated icon represents incredible personal growth and cultural justice. Herc proved that authentic artistic creation can transcend commercial failure and personal struggles. His story exposes a fascinating paradox. The man who created the blueprint for a multi-billion-dollar industry never fully participated in its financial rewards, but his genuine commitment to community and artistic integrity ultimately defined hip-hop's lasting cultural significance. Today at 70, DJ Kool Herc stands as hip-hop's founding father and standard bearer. His path from the recreation room at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame stage proves that true cultural impact can survive addiction, trauma, and decades of neglect. Herc's legacy isn't just about creating hip-hop. It's about staying authentic to your artistic vision, even when the world moves in different directions. It's about building community connections that last longer than commercial trends. Most importantly, it's about the power of genuine creativity to change the world, even when you don't get rich from it. The next time someone mentions DJ Kool Herc's addiction, remember the complete story. Yes, he struggled with crack cocaine and nearly lost everything, but he also created a global cultural movement that continues inspiring millions of people worldwide. That's not the story of hip-hop's biggest addict. That's the story of hip-hop's greatest pioneer, a man whose authentic vision proved stronger than his darkest demons. DJ Kool Herc didn't just survive his addiction. He reclaimed his throne as the father of hip-hop culture. What do you think about DJ Kool Herc's incredible journey from addiction to cultural icon? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if this story inspired you, and subscribe for more untold stories about music's greatest legends.